Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to this evening's talk by Jane Dillon. She's a sociologist by background, as you'll have read in the background. She's president of Catharsis. I'm going to hand over to Jane, who will take us through her presentation.
So the title of my talk is Transcending Reductionist Science. It started out Extinction, the One Mind and Evil, which I will point out this connection for people to understand. You can see on the slide, the purpose of these experiments is focused to prove for the first time scientifically, once and for all, the existence of a higher power, which many of us on this webinar today know exists. We want to prove it. And we want to prove the list at the bottom of this page, which I will talk about many, many times. So I'm going to, in the interest of time, I'm going to go and introduce Dr. Savage to you very briefly, because all the information on him is on our website. Dr. Savage is the founder of the Advanced Science of Subliminal Distant Influentiality. We call it SDI. All the experiments I'm going to present to you today use this technology in one form or another. The science has been extensively tested and applied, documenting that Dr. Savage is capable of doing, quote, impossible things from a distance anywhere in the world with unprecedented and precise results. You could call it remote doing. In his words, his unique ability to break into the psychocontinuum allows him to surf in it with excellent precision, reconfigure it remotely according to specific purposes authorized by his private clients. His quotes are, people actively exposed to my subliminal procedure are driven to do unconsciously things they otherwise would not do, and vice versa, not do things they otherwise would do. We'll get to the first experiment. There's 12 of them. I'm going to go briefly through all of them. They're all on the website, explained in detail. Here is the first part of the historic burn study. It was a 3-month study, and you'll see here the hypothesis was the same, that they turned out to be children, but any burn victim would recover with dramatic healing of third-degree burns, which according to medical doctors was impossible. The results, that's the data, which you can read later or on the website. In all 5 cases in the treatment group, there was significant reepithelialization, healing of skin in areas diagnosed with deep and severe third-degree burns, compared to no reepithelialization of skin of third-degree burn in the children in the control group. They had to be grafted. In all 5 cases in the treatment group, the children not only survived their critical condition, but went home strong with healing skin, compared to the control group, in which, unfortunately, 2 children in critical condition died within 1 week of admission to the burn center. And the other 3 children who were not in critical condition eventually went home with normal grafting of third-degree burn areas. In all 5 cases in the treatment group, there was a subjectively noticeable and very unusual lack of infection, lack of pain and discomfort, vitalization of will, and maintenance of calm throughout each subject's stay at the burns clinic. Now, this was unheard of, so that's why we're calling it a historic burn study. I don't know if I don't have time to go through these details, but the case with the arrow there, the 3-year-old girl, 65% of the body, scalded burn. This child was expected to die. She didn't, and she arrived at the burn center calm. We had already processed her. I have this picture on the left here. This was a child we took care of 10 years later, but there's a photograph there that you can see for those who have never wanted to see anything like this. That's what happens to a child that is burned 65% of their body. And at the bottom, you see the results down here of the child's torso and legs healed of third-degree burns without grafting. And they healed in the same pigment, the same color. That's astounding. And it's incontrovertible. It's non-placebo and reproducible, which I'll show you in experiment 3. We've got 2,000 cases of burn victims we've taken care of 10 years later. This is most important. shielded room, Faraday cage. You all know about that. We're documenting transcendental forces that are accessible to Dr. Savage beyond electromagnetism to bring about dramatic results. Now, there's the shielded room on the left with the lab director, Dr. Chevalier, and Philip. I don't know who that other one is. This was a year before I met Dr. Savage. There's the machine, the diagnostic machine called AMI, apparatus for measuring internal organs, the energy output. And there's the subject. Okay, so the subject is to sit relax. And she's connected to the machine on her fingers and her toes. That's how that instrument works. And Dr. Savage is inside the shielded room. And the idea, obviously, is if anything has to do with electromagnetism of what he's doing, it will be blocked. The shielded room will block it. And if there's a significant reaction result, then his technology is not electromagnetic. So that's what the hypothesis was, to see what was going to happen. Well, yes, the results were documented on that AMI machine, and there was an output of, what does it say, 12% increase in the immune system, which was something very significant. But even better for us is it was videotaped. So there was a group of observers, doctors, researchers watching this. And what happened to this woman, Debbie, after 10 minutes, during the 10-minute processing, Debbie started to move around. And there's no other way to explain this video, which you can watch. I suggest you do, other than a 17-minute full body orgasm. That's what she went into. That's why she's smiling like this on the last picture and just remarking, I feel like a vibration of love and more. That is what happens when people are processed by Philip. Not always these same results, but they do feel like a vibration of love and more. Philip says, my people just glow. That's extremely significant to us because his processing is clearly not limited by electromagnetism. It's beyond. That's very important for us, which means everything's happening in that one collective bio-mind and downloaded to the physical. Paddy the horse was crippled for 3 years, standing in the mud. No one did anything to help him. He's 19 years old, student of Philip's, couldn't stand it anymore. She raised some money, asked him to help. He did. We set up a distant processing for Paddy the horse. And I said, I want to see it. I'm not coming to Cornwall. I was in Switzerland in our office. Please videotape it. So they videotaped Paddy before, and it was heartbreaking because it was impossible to make him move. He got him into a little trot. He trotted right back to the tree to scratch his sweet itch. He was miserable. Then I said, okay, you got that before, so we'll set the appointment, 5-minute processing. The camera's ready, the witnesses are ready, and Paddy runs away. The cameraman can't catch him. The first minutes of footage are the camera videoing the ground. Finally, he caught up with the horses that's coming around a bush, down the hill. Paddy is chasing Dolly, a 1-year-old filly, and comes back up the hill, running, and stops dead in his tracks, catching his breath. Paddy was out of shape. He caught his breath and then caught up with Dolly. I told them we need to follow up. We need 2 weeks later, then 4 weeks and 6 weeks. So you see a couple weeks later, and then you see 4 or 6 weeks later, a 170-pound man is riding Paddy. That's impossible. An animal, no placebo. He's hacking the biomatrix, the bio-mind, to reset the animal's brain. That's what he calls it, a brain reset. SDI is based on the fact that all living things are deeply embedded into a unified field of global consciousness, somewhat related to the most advanced concepts of quantum mechanics, inseparability and alocality, Jungian theory, collective unconscious, theories of morphogenic fields, Sheldrake, and psychofields, Kachnichan. The science has been extensively tested and applied, documenting that Dr. Savage is capable of doing, quote, impossible things from a distance anywhere in the world with unprecedented and precise results. It's an advanced mind control technology. It's non-physical, non-therapeutic, non-pharmaceutical, painless intervention. It is precise, efficient, laser-like, and certain. And quote, SDI is the most powerful technology in the world.